Page 111. This is the harmonization at the top of the page. The lively one? Good luck with lively. Let's talk about this. I'm redoing this because the first time I did it, the explanation I gave was so confusing that I didn't know what I was talking about. So, okay. Again, first thing to do is to learn the melody. I want to be able to play the melody pretty easily. The 3/4 time with a pickup beat, we are in the key of G major. So all the F's are sharp here. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. So I got the melody down more or less. Let's look at the chords. What chords do they want? Well, they're telling us under the staff. They want a 1 chord. Okay, good enough. Do the 1 chord. Get the 1 chords down good. And then a little later, they want a 5, 6, 5. You think, well, that's a 5 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. No, it's a 6/5 inversion. You can't have a 6/5 inversion on a triad. Because no matter how you do it, you'll never get the 5. Well, that's 5. You can't have both at the same time. I get a 5, but there's no 6. Here I get a 6, no 5, and I get a 6 here with no 5. It doesn't work. That implies that that is a 7 chord, is a 5/7 chord. Tricky, aren't they? Yeah, oh, they are. That's good. So it is, instead of 5, it's got to be here. But they want the 6/5 inversion, and that's just the inversion we've been using here. So I'm going to go here. That's the one we've been using. Yeah, big deal. So instead of here, it's first inversion, is because here, remember, I got a 6 and a 5 for the 6/5 inversion intervals. Did I lose you yet? Stick around. And then we're happy for a while until the end of the second line. You get a 1 chord again, and then a 5/7 of 4. See, first we had a 5/7 of 5, this 5/7 of 4, because this unit we're studying those two dominant 7th chords. Okay. First, let's understand what a 5/7 of 4 is, and then we'll just tell you the easy way of doing it. A 5/7 of 4, first you go to the 4 chord in G major. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want a 5 chord of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a 7th. Was it a major triad and minor 7th? Gotta have an F natural. Well, if you'll notice, this is a 1 chord with a 7th. It is the same as a 1/7. So the 5/7 of 4 is the same notes as a 1/7. So then the question is, well, why don't they just say so? What's the secondary nonsense about? The idea is chord progressions, as I understand it. Somebody else can have a better explanation. This is my understanding. Chord progressions. The 7th chord leads into whatever it is dominant of. So this chord is a 1/7. It ain't dominant in nothing. But the 4, the 5/7 of 4, this chord leads into the 4 chord here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, so it's or that. It's like in C major, it's 5. So it leads into it. It's a 5/7 of 4. So don't let that scare you too much. So we get this 5/7 of 4 here. Then measure 9, we want the 4 chord. Remember, it goes into the 4 chord, and a 6/4 inversion is this. So we're going from here, because that's root position now on the 5/7 of 4, and then here. We just went. See, the chord progression leads in very nicely. A little bit later, it's a 1 chord, and then the 5/7 of 5 chord, which we've already had a fight over that one, which is, remember the C sharp? You need to review the 5/7 of 5. All right, briefly, 5/7 of 5. First, find the 5 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now find the 5 of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now make a 7th chord out of it. I want a major triad, minor 7th. Ring a bell? And I put this on the bottom so it could go to that. Because the 5-7 of 5 leads into the 5, or the 5-7, which this does. So we've had this before. In the previous one, the same thing. But they don't want this inversion of the 5-7 of 5 chord. They want root position. Well, that's this. I got to be down here because when I'm up here, the melody's here. I'm in the way. They don't get along when they get close. Remember that. Okay, we're down here. And then the 5-7 chord is here. And then the 1 chord. All root position. Huh? Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to try the block chords with the melody to see if it sounds okay. 1 chord. I could be down here. The problem with this is that when you get low, it just sounds muddy. Up here, it's much cleaner. The problem is now this is in the way. And then the 5... Now the 5-7 of 4, which is a 1-7. And then the 4 chord... That's sort of what they want. Now they're suggesting a broken chord pattern, quarter notes. And there the right hand's playing the note. We got to have the F natural. That's what makes it a 7th chord. Because if you leave it out, you don't have the harmony of the 7th chord. So this measure 8. I'm going to do that, and then the last note's going to be the F. Then I can go back to the... And then the 5-7 of 5. Make sure you play the 7th part of the chord. Something like that. I don't know exactly. Try different patterns out, maybe. You try different rhythms and different patterns out and explore the possibilities. However, talking about exploring, they want us to transpose this to E major. God, is this going to be a quick kicker or what? We're in G major. We're going to go down a minor 3rd to E major. E major has 4 sharps. We got 4 sharps to deal with, but if you know the scales is not a problem, just play the notes in E major. Play the notes in the scale, except for the accidental that we're going to have because of the 7th chord. The melody first. Well, I can't go down a 3rd like you'd think you can, because in the music it's just 1 space or line difference. So here I'm simply going to go down 1 space or 1 line. So at the beginning it's here, so I'm going to go down below middle C here. And then in the 2nd measure, that G, go down 1 line, it's an E then. It's playing the key of E major, so you got to have all the right sharps in. I don't do that very well. So what I do is I figure out the first note, which in this case is a B, and then I'm just going to play the intervals. So here, I'm going to go up a 4th, a 2nd, down a 3rd, up a 5th, the 2nd, up a 3rd, up a 2nd, down a 6th, it gets a little trickier on 6th, 2nd, up a 4th, 2nd, and then up a 2nd, up a 4th, down a 2nd, up a 3rd. So I can read the intervals in the music, and I get by that way. I should, if I were really motivated and really young and getting into it like you are, is I would practice reading the music, transposing up or down one line or space, because that would come in handy. Because then I can think bottom line, and instead of a G, it's an E, and then bottom space, then below the bottom under the staff, and I could practice. That's the secret. What's the secret? Practice. Oh, and then I could get better at it, but I'm not motivated to do that, so I ain't doing it. So there. So I'm just going to follow the intervals. Now, what are the chords? Well, we're in the key of E major. Same process. A 1 chord is a 1 chord. A 5 chord or a 5/7 chord because of the 6/5. What's that? It's that same arrangement we've been using. Which takes us over to measure 8. Now we want a 5/7 of 4. Well, we're in the key of E major. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want a 5/7 of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Major and minor. Remember, it's like a 1/7. It's a 1/7. If you just get in my 5/7 of 4 is just a 1/7. But we do 5/7 of 4 because it leads into the 4 chord. And a 1/7 doesn't so much. And that's what this is in root position. And then, of course, measure 9 is the 4 chord, but it's in a 6/4 position, which is first inversion. So I'm going from here, and then it's here. I take this, put this on the bottom. See, the 4 with just a 6 behind it is first inversion. 6/4 is second inversion. This second inversion here, because I have a 4 and a 6 here, second inversion. So I went from here to here. And then the 5/7 in root position, we're in E, so here, going to the 1. That's what they want. Okay, and then we try and play that whole mess together, and I'm... Get off if the right hand needs it. See, it doesn't sound right at first, like in the, where is it, measure 7? Doesn't sound, well, this is a suspension sort of thing. It's like here, and then it resolves. So this isn't really the note we want. This is the note. But it resolves. Okay, and then everything is forgiven, and then we can go on. And it's the 5/7 of 4 is like here. All we're doing is adding that here, and then the 5/6/5 out here. Get off of here. And anyway, that's how you would do it. And then if you want to do that too, you go right ahead and do that. I don't want to do it, so I ain't doing it. Okay. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. It's fine.